Good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning. If you could take your seats, we're going to get ready to get started in just a couple of minutes here. Oh, y'all quieted down quickly. Thank you. This is a great audience. Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Brianna Connor. I'm an anchor and a reporter with WXI 12 News here in Winston-Salem. We cover the Triad, and it is an amazing opportunity to be here with you this morning. I get to talk about a lot of unpleasant news sometimes, so it really brings joy to my heart when I get to speak to people about the good things that are going on in our community. So thank all of you for being here. I'm honored to be your MC this morning. I'd like to begin by acknowledging some of the elected officials who are in the room. Please stand if you are present. Mayor Alan Joines, Mayor Pro Tem and Northeast Ward Council Member and Project We Care founder, Vivian Burke. South Ward Council Member, John Larson. Northwest Ward Council Member Jeff McIntosh. East Ward Council Member Annette Scipio. Southeast Ward Council Member James Taylor. And West Ward Council Member Robert Clark. And Council Member Dee Dee Adams. Thank y'all so much for taking time to be here with us this morning. I'd like to also recognize City Manager Lee Garrity, if you're in the room, and Assistant City Manager Evan Raleigh. If there are any other city or staff or elected officials, thank you so much for being here. Please stand so that we can recognize you if I missed anyone. And last but definitely not least, we would certainly like to ask all of our volunteers to stand because y'all are the reason that we're here this morning. We are, of course, here to celebrate all of you. The City of Winston-Salem would like to express its gratitude to each of you for the time and dedication that you've given. Your energetic and caring attitudes personally and personify ideal civic engagement. So thank you for your commitment to serving as community leaders to make the City of Winston-Salem a better place. You may be seated, everyone, and continue eating. Do what you need to do. I'd like to ask Mayor Pro Tem Vivian Burke to join me on stage to extend our official welcome and purpose for today's event.
Good morning. Seems like I was looking at you not too long ago.
Just a couple hours ago.
Yes. I said to my friend Naomi, isn't she pretty? You had on that green dress?
I did.
Yes, you did. Looked very good. And I said this. I said, you know, we can feel proud of WXII. They present themselves well. They look good when they present themselves to us. So we appreciate it very much, all of you. This morning is a great day. It's a great day because you're here. As I thought about this activity this morning, this great event, and I thought, who's making this turn? Well, I know who's making the turn. The cows, where are you? Stand so they can see you. Some years ago, we had a city manager by the name of Bill Stewart, a laid-back, very fine, smart man. And I believe in working hard. So he said, Mrs. Burke needs some help, because I guess I was going to work myself to death, he thought. And I had a lot of neighborhood people who would work and help. And so each elected official received person to assist them. And that's why we have these wonderful cows when you'll see them in the neighborhood. They represent us. The city manager we have today, Mr. Lee Garrity, he continues to say, we need CALs because we want to make sure our neighborhoods are taken care of and our citizens and taxpayers understand that we care about them. So Project We Care is so important. Ms. Smith coordinates it for the city. So I want to say to each of you, thank you. We wouldn't be here today if we didn't have fine citizens like you who want to work hard to make their city a very livable place for all of us to live, work, and play. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Burke. Now we're going to continue our program. We'd like to hear about the importance of volunteerism, so please help me welcome Mr. Joel McIver, Director of Communication and Engagement at Senior Services.
Good morning. My name's Joel McIver, and I am the Director of Communication and Engagement at Senior Services. I've been at Senior Services just under 3 years. And I remember when I first started, one of my very first assignments was to produce a video. I was to produce a video about a new art lesson program that had recently been started at Senior Services. Now, it wasn't my first rodeo. I had done some video work before. So I went in feeling kind of technical and like I knew what I was doing. I was thinking about camera angles and what I wanted to capture for this video because I wanted it to be good so I could impress my new bosses. Now, the subject of the video, Miss Mary, was an 83-year-old widow. Her husband had died about a year before that. And she was one of the first people to partake in this program, to get these art lessons. And the volunteer was a gentleman who was pretty well known in Winston-Salem for great art. And I was just kind of thinking, you know, we'll make it poppy, maybe put some interesting music under it. You know, it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be great. I figured I'd ask her some basic questions about how she liked getting the lessons, etc. But I just was not prepared for the answer she gave me when I happened to ask her how she got started. I'm looking through the lens. I've got a nice close-up on this beautiful 83-year-old face. And she said, before I started this, I would just sit around and think about all my problems. I felt like the world was caving in on me. She went on to say that she started the art lessons because she was trying to find something, anything, that would give her a little peace. Those art lessons gave her peace. And more than that, they gave Miss Mary a sense of purpose. So, about a year ago, Miss Mary died. In that first assignment, her words have stuck with me since that time. And I was really sad when she died, but then I started thinking about it, and I realized that for a year and a half, Miss Mary spent her time creating art, beautiful art, real art, and finding peace. And then when I was coming here today, I realized that that was largely because of one person, one volunteer who decided to give their time and their talent to others. And this is just one story about one volunteer out of a small army of volunteers who have positively impacted senior services, and more importantly, the thousands of older adults that we serve in this county. Because of the unwavering dedication of volunteers, Senior Services has received approximately 49,000 hours of service over the last year. The value of that service is approximately $1,246,000. Does anyone here work for a nonprofit or have any? If you do, then you know our payrolls would not cover that. But because they care, because they know the need, because they know the value, we have over 1,600 people who allow us to touch the lives of about 2,500 people each and every month. Now we talk about impact because we don't just want to focus in on numbers. And Senior Services has tried to start measuring impact. So far, the participants are reporting far less depression, decreased feelings of isolation, fewer falls, fewer hospital visits, and just like Miss Mary, a sense of peace and purpose. So in short, I'm here to say that Senior Services would never, ever, ever be able to do the things that we do for older adults in this community if it were not for volunteers. And I feel confident in saying that no nonprofit in this community or anywhere could help people without volunteers. So I thank those who are being honored today. I thank everyone in here who was given a little time. Please, please tell your family, tell your friends, tell your loved ones. Give a little time because it makes a huge, huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. MacGyver. Now I'd like to hear from Ms. Maya Agar about how being a recipient of volunteerism has affected her life. Please help me welcome her to the stage.
Hi, my name is Maya Agar, and a volunteer organization affected my life on July 13th of 2011. There was a fire that started in my apartment building at 3 o'clock that morning, and I was lost. I didn't know what to do. Everybody got out safely, but what did we do next? That's the question that just kept going through my head. And about an hour later, the American Red Cross showed up. And it was a team of all volunteers who gave their time to come out and help people like me and the people who lived in the building with me. And they treated us with such love and compassion that we knew it was going to be okay. And they did provide financial assistance. They put us up in a hotel, and it kept me from spending 3 nights in my car with my dog. which would not have been fun. He's not a small dog. So they were there immediately to take care of us, and they also held our hand through the rest of the recovery process, finding a new place to live or getting back into other either getting back into our apartments or finding a new place to live. They set us up with referrals to partner agencies, other volunteer organizations who allowed us the best recovery that was possible. And it just meant so much to me that these people are there, working for nothing just to take care of their community, which included me, and that made me feel loved and special. And I couldn't have done it without them. I have no family in the state, so they became my family. The team, and I remember at least 5 of them. I recognize their faces. They changed my life so much that day that 4 months later, I joined the Red Cross. And so I've been with Red Cross for almost 8 years now. And I think the proudest thing that I can do is serve on one of those teams. And that's my favorite part. So I get to take care of people who are in situations like mine and provide the service that was provided to me in my moment of need. And I hope to do it the rest of my life. It means the world to me. Thanks.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. It reminds us of why we're here and why we are honoring these people that we are this morning. We're now going to have the presentation of the Volunteer Choice Awards in the order listed on your program. Each recipient is asked to come forward and receive their award once their name is called by the presenter. And this morning, we're going to have Mayor Pro Tem Vivian Burke present the Mayor's Choice Award in lieu of Mayor Alan Joines.
Good morning again. We've heard such inspirational thoughts. It just lets you know we're blessed to live in this great city of Winston-Salem. Mayor Alan Joines would be here, but due to a commitment, he was not able to attend, and he asked me to make this presentation. Mr. Don Tate, is that correct? Yeah, okay. This recognition goes to BB&T Lighthouse Project. And we learn something every day. And I'm sure you're going to learn something about this BB&T Lighthouse Project. It's to help communities in need. BB&T created the BB&T Lighthouse Project. It's a company-wide community service effort that brings together thousands of associates to impact the lives of millions. BB&T started Lighthouse Project in 2009. We have something in common, don't we? In the past 10 years, we've completed more than 12,000 community service projects. Volunteers have spent over 700,000 hours working to serve more than 18 million people in need throughout the communities. In 2019 alone, we completed nearly 1,100 community service projects. Associate volunteered more than 70,000 hours to support the needs of more than 1.3 million people. That says an awful lot. Are you supposed to- Thank you. This says Project We Care, Mayor's Choice Award, presented to BB&T in appreciation for your dedicated service to the community. Mayor Allen Jones, City of Winston-Salem, 2019. Now, President, would you like to-
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm proud to be here on behalf of our executive management team, as a member of our executive management team, just to say thank you. I'm glad we share this common interest of making the world a much better place to live, and glad to see in 2009, we both ran a parallel path. And so I just want to congratulate everyone in this room and congratulate Project We Care for the difference that you're making. There's two important days in life: the day that you're born, and the other one is the day that you realize why you were born. And the same thing is true for institutions. The day that you start your company, so BB&T started in 1872, was a very historical, momentous day. But what really became momentous for us and became even more meaningful was the day that we understood the reason why we're here. And the reason why we're here is to make the world a much better place to live. Yes, we love growing banking business, and we love doing things like this small little deal we're doing right now, this merger of equals with SunTrust. That's only to give us more scale to really truly give back to the community in a more meaningful way, to include the Triad area. So we have committed, you all have seen, that over the next 3 years, we're going to double our giving in the Triad area. So over the next 3 years, we're going to give $17 million to the Triad area to continue to show our commitment to the very important initiatives, because the bank is just an accumulation of all the great people in the community. That's all we are. We are a representation of all the great initiatives and community efforts. And so we just want to say thank you on behalf of BB&T, and thank you for allowing us to be here this morning.
Thank you. And I do have to say this: when I heard that SunTrust and BB&T were going to give so much money, I said, you make sure Winston-Salem gets its fair share. Because we do big business with you as a city. Okay. As I've said before, we cannot make it without people helping us. I'm very happy to have in the Northeast Ward Vulcan Materials Company. It's a very productive one, and it works very hard to work very well to be good neighbors with the citizens in the area. As you know, last year we presented Mr. Bill Hayes, and Mr. Bill Hayes serves as president, and he makes sure Vulcan stays on the ball and doing what they need to do, and that the citizens have a very positive relationship. And our young children in the area, we're very pleased how you expose them to different things. Now, they didn't give me, and we know each other, but now you're going to have to tell me your name. Miss Hallett, I left my piece of paper with that down there. Miss Hallett, recognizing you for all you do. And I said to Miss Bradshaw, who assists me, a very capable, fine lady, Miss Brad. And I said to her, I said, now, Miss Bradshaw, talk to Miss Hallett and see what they're doing. So, of course, Miss Hallett gave all this that they were doing in this city. And then I said, now, I want to know what they're doing in the Northeast Ward. I'm not into anybody else's business. I want to know what they're doing in the Northeast Ward. So, of course, working with the schools, working with the children, Mineral Springs School up there, and we have Prince Ibrahim, being a role model, and also when we have the neighborhood meetings, your company is present. We do something on an annual basis to show the children how they too can have jobs and opportunities. So I want you to know that this city is a better place because we have Vulcan. And as I told you, you keep it nice looking up there, and that is important. That's what the neighbors like to see, and the relationship is wonderful. So at this time, I want to present you the award. Smith. This Project We Care Mayor Pro Temporary's Choice Award in appreciation for your dedicated service to the community. Mayor Pro Tem Vivian H. Burke, City of Winston-Salem, 2019. Ms. Hallett.
Thank you so much.
Yes. What I used to tell people, I used to work with a lot of people's children. I learned one name. If you got two names, just give me one. I always call people by their last name, and I believe Ms. Bradshaw calls Ms. Hallett by her first name. And I like to always address people by their last name, Ms. Hallett. That's why I wanted you to know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're so honored to be recognized for this award, and I wish that all of our couple hundred employees could be here to accept this on behalf of Vulcan. We have been in Winston-Salem area since 1959, and we'll be here for generations to come. For those of you that don't know, Vulcan is the nation's largest producer of crushed stone. And I tell people that don't know what we do, we are the foundation, literally, of the community here in Winston-Salem. And we plan to continue providing those products. But more than that, we recognize that to be a strong foundation, you have to be solid in every aspect. And our employees are very, very important to us, and the communities that we serve are equally as important. And we have always fostered a culture of giving back and supporting those communities so that the quality of life can be improved and grow and thrive. And when that happens, we're all successful. So we do a number of different things to support those activities that are going on in the Northeast Ward, as well as the other communities that we serve across the country. And we're so thankful to be here in Winston. I'm blessed to work for a company that has a family culture of giving back. I wouldn't be with them for as long as I have if it wasn't that way. And we look forward to continuing this partnership for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. McIntosh said he was going to follow me. I think you better think about what you're going to do before you get up here. Don't follow me. Well, oh, I don't have anything else to do I? I was wondering who I was going to make this up. I was going to make this one up. Didn't even have a name or anything, so I told you, Mr. McIntosh, don't you follow me.
Now we would like to invite Councilmember McIntosh to present our next award.
Just got to make sure all the hardware is in place. First, I want to thank Mayor Pro Tem Burke for initiating this ceremony 10 years ago now. Second, I want to thank our CALs because they are force multipliers for us. They help us get done what we have to do day to day, so thank you. My CAL happens to be down at my arch rival school, Chapel Hill, today, and is not here, but I still love her anyway. I want to go back and touch on something that Brianna talked about when she opened up. We're in this period of time where there's an incredible level of uncertainty and anxiety at the national level. My touchstone, where I come back to feel good, is by thinking about the people that are in this room that are day to day working to make Winston-Salem a better place to live. So thank you all very much for all the things that you do. We have traditional neighborhood association groups in the room. We have neighborhood watch associations, but the kind of city we are, we're starting to create new models and new hybrids. For instance, the Haynes Park community volunteer group that is an affinity group that wants to make the park that is important to them even better than what we can do with city funds. So their effort and their time are going into that. The Winston Square group is also an affinity group for a park. And so these are just people going above and beyond. They pay their property taxes. They do what they're supposed to do day to day, but they feel so passionately about our city that they take their time and effort to go over and above. One of the groups that is incredibly important, and we have a very robust National Night Out program in Winston-Salem. I think I have the best National Night Out group in the city. I know. I created some controversy a couple of years ago when I talked about how great my cow was. But so this group has combined. There were two groups close together, and they came together this year and threw just an outstanding, huge, very fun event. And it's a model for other groups in the community to emulate. So my choice award this year goes to the leaders, the heads of that, is Grace and Al Renna. Come on up. Come on. It was a tough decision. I've got a lot of great neighborhoods in my ward, and they put out a lot of fantastic effort. So I hope you have a long speech prepared. Yeah, but Al's never shy. Thank you so much. Thank you. You want to say any words?
I don't know what to say. We were surprised by this. Thank you so much, Jeff. The engine behind that event that he's talking about is to my left over here. Is Grace. And Steve Griggs, who was a big partner in putting this event out as well. What we're trying to do is just move from being residents of Town and Country to being neighbors of Town and Country. And the difference between being a resident versus a neighbor is community. And what we're trying to do is build community. And we try to do it in little ways, in ways that people want to hear about. So National Night Out is a time where for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, everybody comes out of the house and parties in the street.
Legal party.
Legal party, yeah. And then we clean up the street and go about our days. So thank you so much for recognizing us and recognizing our effort, and we hope to have even a bigger event next year.
There you go. Great. Thank you.
And now for the next award presentation, I'd like to invite Councilmember Denise Adams to the stage.
Good morning. Good morning. This is what happens when you get older and the weather changes outside and you wake up in the morning, you be like, ah! So excuse me for my voice. As the Mayor Pro Tem, again, thank you for everything that you've always done in this community to help make us better. Volunteerism. All of you are volunteers. Practically everybody in our city is. It's so important that we all care about where we live and where we play and where we work. And this gentleman in the North Ward, Dr. Robert Wapleys, I was told that he walks to work, he bikes to work. He sees trash on the side of the road and he'll pick it up. That's a volunteer, unsung volunteer. He moved to Winston-Salem in 1991. He's a professor at Wake Forest. And among the courses that he teaches is Introduction to Economics, Environmental Economics, and Current Economic Issues. So you can tell he's a numbers person as well. His wife, Regina, and he are lay members at the Dominican order. They have 5 adult children and 2 grandchildren. Again, he likes to walk. He likes to walk and see his city, his community. And that's what we all need to do. Sometimes when we're riding in our cars and stuff, and we see people throw things out of the window, trash, plastic bottles, aluminum cans, cigarette butts, paper, food, and we just drive by it, I think we can all take a page from Dr. Waplace. We all, when we're walking, get out and walk in your community, as the Mayor Pro Tem would have you to do. Start to take pride in our city and where you live, because the city of Winston-Salem can't do it all. So we look to people like Dr. Robert Waplace and his wonderful engagement. Thank you so much for being the volunteer in the North Ward. Hug up. We're going to give you a chance to say something. Thank you, sweetie.
I believe that God made Winston-Salem to be beautiful. The parks, the neighborhoods, the streets and the sidewalks, the people of Winston-Salem are very beautiful. And I am so glad that he's invited me to help make this city more beautiful. And I do walk a lot. I walk about an hour, 45 minutes a day, especially on Saturday and Sunday morning, and I just walk around the North Ward, the Northwest Ward, and I pick up all the litter I see, and I see a lot, and so it's kind of sad. I'm a numbers guy, and I started counting about 7 years ago, and I picked up about 52,000 bottles and cans over that period.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Councilmember Annette Scipio to come forward and make her award presentation.
This is a wonderful morning, and I love the opportunity to recognize someone in the East Ward who's very special to me because she typifies someone who grew up in the ward and came back to our ward and has a passion for revitalizing our neighborhoods almost the way they were when she was a child. The East Ward goes from way downtown at the Marriott Hotel all the way out to Glenn High School. But the part that many people remember is what I call historic East Winston, where the majority of African Americans lived and worked. And if you drive through historic East Winston, sometimes you'll say, oh, I would not want to live here. It's nothing like it used to be. Many of the houses are boarded up. Some need a lot of repair, rehab. There's an image of crime, disruption, and poverty. It can never come back until we reinvest in those neighborhoods. The beauty of my recipients is that she came back and she's made an effort to reinvest in the neighborhood, not only by restoring one of the older homes, but also by taking on our political efforts in getting people registered to vote, getting them out to vote, and bringing neighbors together. So when I was asked who would represent our ward as an outstanding volunteer, my heart said London Carpenter, because she's made a commitment that many don't have to make. When you have the wherewithal to live anywhere in the city, you can choose to live anywhere. But to come back and say, I want my neighborhood to be strong, to be positive, and I'm going to take and do whatever it takes, it's me. So London, this is for you. And I can give it to London because I know she's going to continue her efforts of revitalizing our neighborhood. She's already pulled people together. So Historic East Winston will be dynamic because the heartbeat of our ward are the people. And as we build people, our neighborhoods will be built. Did you want to say anything?
I thank you for this award. And yes, I volunteer quite a bit. And as I look out amongst people here in this audience, I look at some of my good friends I call my tribe. These are people who have not only involved me in volunteering, but also voluntold me a whole lot too. And as I look in the back of the room, I am so appreciative of some of my supporters, Ms. Claudette and Ms. Virginia Martin. When I told them that my kids couldn't be here today because they were volunteering at another event, they said, no, we're going to support you. And that's the type of friendship and relationship that I have in my community. It's because I connect with great people and they support me in doing the things that we're going to make changes for in East Winston. So again, I thank you all.
Our next award will be presented by Councilmember James Taylor.
Good morning. I bring greetings on behalf of the residents of the sensational Southeast Ward. Any of my Southside family in the house? We always represent everywhere we go. I want to take a moment and just give honor to Councilmember Burke again for helping to initiate Project We Care. I want to give honor to the lovely and legendary Vanessa Smith, who is the CAL for the Southeast Ward. We thank you for everything that you do. I couldn't do it without her. And before I move forward, I also want to recognize last year's award winner who's in the house, Ms. Kanika Brown. We can give her a round of applause. Thank you for what you do. And there's so many neighborhood and community leaders all across this room and all across this city. I just want to thank all of you for what you do to help to improve our quality of life in the city of Winston-Salem. The gentleman from the Northwest Ward would agree. I saw when he accepted this award, the first thing he did was he looked to his engine, who was beside him. And I got to tell you, I've learned over the years that women are great just all by themselves. It's so true, right? And guess what? When you're a man, behind every good man or in front or around every good man, there's also a good woman, right? That's a fact. We've got one of the most beautiful projects in the city of Winston-Salem in Corey Park. We spent just over $8 million to redevelop this particular location and several locations all over the city. And everyone comes to Corey Park. Thank you, Ms. Hallett and Vulcan for helping us out there. But everybody comes to Corey Park and they get to enjoy the quality of life in the Southeast Ward. Behind that project, there is a family who works every single day to make sure that Corey Park is nice and neat. When we were talking about Corey Park, before we even went out and designed it, they were there. When we went out and tried to design Corey Park, they were there. When we decided to build Corey Park, they were there at the table. Because I've learned a long time ago, either you are at the table or you're on the menu. And this family has always been at the table. Even now, since Corey Park is built, it's constructed, sometimes there's graffiti out, sometimes there's trash. You don't see it very long because of the award winners from the southeastern portion of the city. And today's We Care recipient is Miss Nancy and Mike Byram. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Come on up. I said Nancy's name first on purpose because we know that she's the one really running the show. But on behalf of the Southeast Ward, we want to thank you for everything that you do to help Quarry Park and our city to be a better place to live, work, and relax. We appreciate your service to our community, and we thank you. And please, let's give them another round of applause.
Good morning. I just want to thank everyone for Quarry Park and the Greenway and tell you how very much it's meant to our neighborhood and to the whole Walltown area. People walk every day with their little dogs and their children, and we appreciate it so very much. We get some pretty strange looks picking up trash every day, but we're happy to do it to make our neighborhood better. Thanks again.
I know better.
Thank you so much. Our next award will be presented by Councilmember John Larson.
Good morning. Add my greetings. Could Cindy Weavers come forward, please? You'd rather see somebody who actually wins an award rather than another politician today, I think, probably. I represent the South Ward, which really starts up at 4th Street near the old courthouse and runs all the way down the Davidson County line. And a big chunk of the South Ward is an area that got annexed by the city. Some of the last annexations that occurred when we could legally do that was in the South Ward. And particularly one neighborhood was the Darwick neighborhood down there. And so the city embraced them. The question was, would the citizens that got annexed embrace the city? And as it turns out, Cindy is one person that has embraced the city in ACES. And she had a career working for Forsyth Tech in their instructional planner and had a long career serving the city within that educational institution. But when she retired, she immediately went into volunteerism and supported hospice. She worked at Freeburg Elementary School and the Village Home and Garden Clubs, particularly filled a lot of her time. She's given her energies to the Darwick neighborhood, and we heard a lot about National Night Out today, and she's consistently been the neighborhood captain and the leader of that program, inviting people to her house and had I don't know how many parties in your driveway over the years, and we certainly appreciate that. She committed herself to understanding the city that had adopted her, and she became a graduate of the City University program and most recently joined the Citizens Fire Academy program. So we know that she's got a commitment to the place that she's now living. She's a loving mother, obviously, a committed citizen of Winston-Salem, devoted grandmother, and a friend of many. And I am proud to have her in the South Ward and recognize her service this year for us. Thank you.
More of a behind-the-scenes person, so anyway, this is a surprise, and thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I do love my neighborhood, and I love my city, so thank you.
All right, wait a minute. Wait just 1 minute. So we've heard a lot about cows today, you know, and my cow, of course, is Vanessa Devan, who's standing over here in the wings. And what you need to know about Vanessa is that some of the council members have their own single cow. Well, Vanessa is so good that she represents 2 city council members. And today, she's so good that Dan Bessie doesn't even have to be here. And she's going to take the whole city council member's job and represent Dan Bessie.
Good morning, everyone. I am here. Councilmember Bessie sends his regrets. He could not be here today. But we are giving this award to someone that is exemplifying volunteerism within the Southwest Ward. And I'm glad that we were able to keep this a surprise. So how many of us know how hard it is to maintain a flower garden in your own yard? Yeah. So imagine that doing that at your own property and maintaining one somewhere else. This is exactly what our Southwest Ward recipient has done. This person has volunteered their time to beautify the land around the neighborhood marker along a very busy road in Winston-Salem. Their efforts not only make the area pleasing to the neighborhood, but also help showcase the neighborhood's pride. The long-standing neighborhood off a main segway in Winston-Salem is enhanced with this recipient as a property owner. Just recently, and I do mean just recently, like within the last 7 days, this recipient has bought more property in the city of Winston-Salem and will be changing their primary residence. So, whichever ward she lands in, you're getting a gem, so you better steal her today. But even with the recent change, they have committed themselves to maintain this garden in the neighborhood as they will still have property there. This continued commitment will keep it a garden that is strong, well-groomed, and an asset to the community. So if I could have Ms. Laura Weaver, please come up. Laura is in the Sanders Street neighborhood, which is off of Burke Mill, which is that very, very busy artery that I was talking about. So when you pass by that neighborhood marker, think of Ms. Weaver.
Thank you. This is such an honor and to be in this company. I really enjoy watching things live and thrive from the bottom up. I'm one of those strange people that thinks about the microorganisms and the mycorrhizae. And we've had this piece of land that no one wanted to take care of and had been deteriorating, and I finally got the permission from the city, and over the past 2 years, it's been my passion project to plant it and watch it thrive. And so many people of my neighborhood absolutely love it and are so pleased, except for one. But, thank you for honoring me with this, because it's something that means so much to me. And again, flowers are like smiles. It smiles to you every time you walk past it, instead of just being a collection of Coke cans and cigarette butts. So, thank you.
Again, congratulations to all the award recipients this morning. I don't know about y'all, I feel inspired. Like I want to go do something good when I leave here, right? Pick up a bottle, do something nice for someone else. It has been such a joy to be here with you this morning. Remember that all the Project We Care recipients and attendees present today are eligible to receive a participation gift that should be given to you at check-in, so make sure you don't leave without that gift. If you did not receive yours, please see a planning committee member following the ceremony. Will the Project We Care Planning Committee please stand? We'd like to recognize you. Thank you again to the committee and everyone in here today. You truly make Winston-Salem such a good place to live and work and serve and enjoy. Now I'd like to conclude the program with closing remarks and expressions of gratitude from Ms. Vanessa Smith.
Again, good morning, and thank you for coming. My name is Vanessa Smith. I'm the Senior Community Assistant Liaison for the sensational Southeast Ward. And on behalf of the Planning Committee, we really thank you for spending your Saturday with us, so as we honor you. Special thanks to Councilmember Burke for this initiative, and it's been a pleasure hosting this for you for the past 9 years. Thank you, Mayor, who's not with us today, and the council members for your support of this program. And again, I'd like to introduce to you the other community assistance liaisons. You have Tamara Bradshaw of the Northeast Ward. Zena Johnson, the North Ward. Bernetta Devane, the South and Southwest. Unfortunately, Kimona McCarter with the Northwest and the West Ward is unable to attend today. And Kelva McKay for the East Ward. We have a special intern that's been helping us throughout this process, Damon Davenport. And the glue that holds us all together, our senior administrative assistant is not here, Yolanda Taylor. And we have some special folks with us today. Our Mistress of Ceremonies did an amazing job, Miss Brianna Connor. Thank you. To our guest speakers, Mr. McIver and Ms. Aggert, thank you again. And if you, the three, would please come forward, we have something special for you.
Thank you again. It was really wonderful to be here with you all this morning, and again, just be able to talk about the really good stuff going on in our city. I live here, I work here, I play here, and I really enjoy it. Thanks in part to what all of you do to make it so wonderful.
I am not Joel McIver, just to tip you off. He unfortunately did have to leave a little bit early, so I am Holly Beck with Senior Services, and we'll definitely take this to him. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya.
Again, this concludes our program, and we welcome you the opportunity to take pictures in the corner.
Before we conclude the program, I need to say something.
Oh, come on up.
Again, thanks to all of you. We've been around here thanking everybody and talking about how this and that, but we failed to recognize one of our most important departments in the city, marketing, Mr. McNeil and his staff. We are so blessed to have a marketing department because when individuals want information to be right, it comes from that department. When citizens come down and have complaints and not always having their facts, this is a department that makes sure you get your facts. So again, we're pleased, we thank you, and you keep us known around the state, around the country, and we appreciate our marketing department. Thank you.